It looks like Michigan is going to be making a change at quarterback here. Now, I don't know that to be the case going forward, but we saw them make a change during the game yesterday against Arkansas State. Now, Michigan is Michigan, and Arkansas State is Arkansas State. So the final score was 28-18. Not quite as decisive as you would like, but even with that being said, what do we think about the Michigan quarterback room here going forward? We'll talk about that right now, but first things first, if you're a Michigan Wolverines fan, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Talk a lot about your Wolverines. We're going to talk a lot about them going forward, so make sure you're dialed in. Also, if you're just a college football sicko, we'd love to have you a part of this. Make sure you're subscribed to this platform. Let me know on the socials too, at JD Pickell, Twitter and Instagram, what you make of the quarterback room right now. Because Sherrone Moore said, like, hey, we had to make a change. I'm paraphrasing there, but had to make a change based on what Davis Warren did, throwing 3 interceptions. And when asked about it during the post-game presser, he just continued to harp on the idea they're going to figure it out during practice. All right? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Jack Tuttle factor into this in some way, shape, or form. He had a lot of momentum, it sounded like, around Ann Arbor to win the job during the summer. But I'll tell you what, man, if it's me and I'm not in that building, I don't know all the personnel. I don't know exactly everything that Michigan wants to do offensively. But if it's me, from the outside looking in, I'd go with Alex Orji. I think he gives you an identity offensively, and I think he doubles down on what you want to be as a football team, which is smash mouth, run the football, punch you in the face, kick the door, and make no apologies for it. Because right now it feels like, and this is not to throw shade at Davis Warren, this is just where we're at right now when you talk about Michigan's offense, it feels like they are trying to run the football, and then set it up with some play action, or then get the picture they want to throw the football to Colston Loveland. And that's not a bad idea in concept. But when you talk about what Michigan hasn't done offensively, like it's not working. It's not working. And so when things aren't working, you got to pivot. And honestly, this is a little bit, again, this is me speaking on the outside looking in. I don't see any game breakers on the perimeter where I'm like, hey, we got to make sure we get him the football. There's some good playmakers now, and they could absolutely trend upward and have a lot of success going forward, but like, I don't see any Roman Wilson. I don't see like a Cornelius Johnson as of right now, okay? So, I think with Alex Orji, like I just said, you get to double down on your identity offensively, which is smash mouth football. You don't have Blake Corum from last year. You got Mullings, who's done a great job. You got Donovan Edwards, who's also, I mean, you know what he is as a running back. But I think what we've seen Michigan be under Davis Warren is that we're going to punch you in the face to eventually like kick you in the head, to use like a combat sports kind of metaphor here. If you put Alex Orji at quarterback, we're just going to punch you in the face with one hand, punch you in the face with the other hand. And I think, honestly, based on what hasn't worked, like that's a great way to go about it, man. Let's go double haymakers, because I think for Michigan, if you're going to do this now, like there's a couple of prerequisites that I have to have this be successful with Alex Orji. I know he gets compared to Jalen Milroe a lot because he's like one of the best athletes on the field at any given point in time. But the reason why Alabama, even last year, was successful with him playing quarterback, in my opinion, is because, one, they committed to Jalen Milroe and what he was as a quarterback, what he was as a runner as well. And also, they were creative. They gave him options in the run game. They used pre-snap motion. They did some window dressing to get defense out of position and stuff like that. And so if Alex Orji is going to be your guy, I need to see that creativity. I need to see us leaning into the Alex Orji offense. It's got to become that. It can't be the Michigan offense with Alex Orji playing quarterback, has a couple of packages that we just expand to be our offense. Like, it has to be the Alex Orji experience all the way through. Okay, and if you have to pivot from that, pivot from that. But don't halfway do the whole Alex Orji's our quarterback thing. Like, commit to what he is as a runner, commit to what he can do throwing the football for you, and like, let's live that way. And I think the hesitation there, if you're a Michigan fan, is like, well, hey, JD, like, Colston Loveland also needs to see the football in some respect, correct? Yes, he does, but I think it's maybe a win-win situation. Like, I think if you're trying to command attention in the box, you can now do that if you have Alex Orji playing quarterback for you and gives defenses another thing to worry about. We've said this for a long time with Michigan. I think all they really need is a change-up pitch, because they're going to run downhill at you. But if all you have is fastball, at some point in time, someone's going to take you yard, okay? And the changeup for Michigan, I think, with Davis Warren playing quarterback was we want to have a drop back pass kind of game that we can go to. And again, that's a great idea in principle, but when it's not working, you got to find another changeup pitch. And I think the changeup pitch for Michigan is now messing with the second level of a defense as opposed to messing with the third level of a defense. What I mean by that is if you're a linebacker and you're worried about Alex Orji tucking and running around the corner, I have less attention, or at least less mental attention I can give to the running back on that play. So even having your attention divided and having to worry about that during the week, like that could be the change-up pitch for Michigan, as opposed to maybe it used to be you were trying to impact the third level of that defense, try and get that safety to roll down and then hit him over the top. Like, I think this could be a different version of maybe what you were trying to accomplish. And speaking to the pass game too, going back to Colston Loveland and guys that maybe you do think need to touch the football, because I'm not saying that Samaj Morgan doesn't need to touch the football or that, you know, a Tyler Morris or a Fred Moore or anyone of that nature doesn't need to touch the football. But what I would say is I think you can command that attention in the box and then in some ways have even more wide open guys running downfield. Maybe you don't go to it as frequently, and maybe you have to live a little bit more ahead of the sticks than you could if it's a Davis Warren or a Jack Tuttle offense. But I think lean into who you are, lean into what you have. And I think Alex Orji, if he doesn't turn the football over for you, brings a lot to the table to like if you're Michigan. So this year, is Michigan going to win the Big Ten? Remains to be seen. I don't think what we've seen from Michigan so far inspires that kind of maybe perspective on the rest of their season. But if you figure out at quarterback and you get some momentum offensively, all bets are off. Still like this defense, still like this roster. Just give it a second. Give it a second. We'll see what they are going forward. But again, for me, I think now is the time to roll with Alex Orji, double down on who he is as a player. Let's go. Let's get creative. Let's use him as a runner. Let's pass where we can, and let's live that way. Smash mouth football from our quarterback all the way through. Let me know what you think about Michigan's quarterback situation. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, heck, TikTok, even at JD Pakel. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.